good day, sanibonani, good people. I'm Yanga, the MC again this Saturday morning, and I am hoping you are as happy and as rejuvenated and as refilled as I am every time I have to come to you guys in this episode. I'm hoping that you reach me with the exact same kind of energies that I reach you. Thank you. It's another end to another week. And yes, it's another new month that we're now in. And this means that we're basically into the year now. So if you are still talking of your New Year's resolutions, if you are still talking of your New Year plans, etc., no, you are in the year now. So everything that you've been discussing, everything that you've been planning, it better not be in the planning stage anymore. It better be on the execution and the implementation stage, because we are in the year. So thank you again for joining us. It's so great being part of this project. I was just actually mentioning that it feels like time is just flying right now. I'm just part of this, growing, and it's so overwhelming just being part of a project that's actually progressing and just escalating, like what I am in terms of the Empowerment Podcast. And this platform and this project, actually, it's really coming to its own now. It's really, we're seeing the necessary developments, in terms of the team per se, within the podcast platform itself. That's growing. As you know, you reach us now every Monday to Sunday of the week. So that on its own is great news. So you're seeing that kind of successes, as I say. And then you also have instances, as I say, like you seeing the involvement of the team or the listeners, actually, from external now. We're seeing your involvement. We're seeing your contributions, your suggestions, your ideas. You're talking to us. The numbers are growing in terms of listenership. So all of this just talks to the growth of the entire baby. And it's just as I say, it's just great being part of it. Just yesterday, as I say, I was the new one here, and all of a sudden there's people coming in, and I'm feeling like I'm part of the furniture now, as I was saying. So yeah, so thank you. That is nothing more than I can say. Thank you for that, and just coming in and just giving us that push in the right direction. Also mention that obviously you can come through and reach us regularly, and as regularly as you want, actually. So every day of the week on Facebook, as we always stress, there is Empowerment Podcast. You find that page, you like us, you follow us, and you give us your input and your suggestions, ideas. On Instagram, you find us on empower_podcast. You'll see us on TikTok as well. So that's the next big platform. So see us, our pages there as well. You'll see some of our videos and some of our content there. We are also on YouTube. So you subscribe, and then you give us your input once more there. So thank you all for everything that you are doing and pushing us in the right direction. Before we do get down to business again, I won't stop. I will stress this. Let us make sure that even though it's a weekend, we're starting off another beautiful day. Let us carry on keeping safe. We are still with the pandemic on top of us. So we do have, I think we're now in adjusted alert level 3. So a lot of restrictions have then been given the green light, but let us not put our guards down. Let us continue to be safe. Let's wear our masks. Let's socialize. Let's social distance, and let us ensure that we sanitize and wash our hands regularly, as what has been advised by the high authority. So, what is it that I probably want to just talk to you about today before you start you carry on with your weekend? Actually, I want us to talk a bit about finding your niche, the importance of it, how it addresses, how it helps, how it then associates with some of the successes that a lot of people are using and coming to themselves through that. And maybe if it's probably another area that we also want to then revisit in our lives and ensure that we evaluate how are we going about it, and if it's something that we actually dialing into, how is it coming about. So I'm not sure I want to give it a definition per se, but when I talk about finding your niche, I'm talking about basically it's just the steps that relate to the building and the growing of a successful you. And that's through using whatever, be it a gift, be it your personality, be it whatever, be it employment, be it you're studying, anything, but finding exactly where you need to be actually interested in what you're doing, and making sure that you push it to come and give you some sort of returns and give you actually a better form or format of a life or living for your sake. So there's benefits in finding your niche, and I'll talk about a few stories and actually give some reference stories as well with that regard. So when you find your niche, what are you doing? You're basically evaluating your passions and your skills, because that's talking to the things that you possess. These are God-given talents. Some people will say, I don't have any God-given talents. Look deeper. That is no such. I've seen a lot of people who actually have so much to offer but have never even looked at those kind of areas. So it's finding all of that, figuring out what's in the market for that type of niche, and then obviously you narrow all of that down and obviously check to see what that niche can create and give in terms of making your life a better life for you. So I talk about it a lot because I've seen it come through for me in my life. Actually, there's a nice story that my friend will probably kill me once he finds out that I actually shared this, but maybe I won't use his name. I remember when I first signed up and I actually registered, went in, studied my IT, that was through TUT. I remember our very, very first year, how you get in, you meet new people. So there's this guy I met there, and what a lovely person, what a lovely person with a personality, a character that I'll never forget. So I remember our first year ending, and at the very end of our first year, this guy had struggled with all of his modules, and I mean, I don't recall if he did pass any of them, but so now there's that, we could laugh about it. It's always funny how we can laugh about the not progressing in terms of back in tertiary. In high school, it was more hoo-ha thing. I mean, just not going to the next grade was almost like a train smash, whereas it was different in tertiary. Remember, you could shout at someone that far away and, hey, I got a sub, or hey, I didn't make it, but hey, it's fine, I'll check it out next year, as if it's nothing major. But our discussion with this guy, he comes to me and he tells me, so I remember he used to call me Manana, because I don't know, that's my surname. I said, Manana, I'm being genuine with you. I've never failed not a single thing in my life, and here I am not passing a single module within this IT. So I'm not sure. It's honestly not that I'm dwarf, or maybe I'm not that smart, but something's not happening. But we laughed about it, and I said, no, listen, next year you can come in, we can check it out, and I'll help where I can. But yeah, it shouldn't be a train smash. As I said, back in tertiary, it wasn't huge. Here comes next year, and my friend had deregistered from IT altogether and registered. It was into a new module. I think it was into, taxation. Yeah, I think it was taxation. I stand to be corrected. This guy passed his entire course in record time. So for me, that talked to a completely different conversation, because here's someone who can't do nothing when you put him into this area, but here's someone who is then so progressive and has found himself and has actually excelled in that area, and he's probably found his niche. And that's the importance of finding your niche. And I'm saying this story because someone could have easily written that person off or written that guy off and said, yeah, well, that's it. He's probably not that. He's probably not even supposed to be in tertiary. This is not his space. But this is someone who's gone and done something in record time just because he changed his course. So the importance of finding your niche goes even beyond. I know a lot of people want to talk about it as in terms of skills and talents and gifts, but it goes to your everyday life. I know. I did my IT. I've worked hard for everything that I've got up until this point, and I do rather believe I've done well up until this point. And here comes a point now where I think it was just a year and a half, 2 years back, where I said, yeah, maybe there's something where your events are concerned and my enjoyment of being in front of people and just entertaining. There's a niche for me there. I did not really realize it up until I did it for the first time, and the type of reception I got for it saw me look at it and just decide that that is something I'm doing as my side baby going forward. Right now, if I could tell you where it's put me, well, look, at first and foremost, I'm on this podcast because I was interviewed through through the coming through from that Yanga, the MC brand, not through my work. I wasn't interviewed by the Empowerment Podcast for ladies and gentlemen because of my IT. So here's something that my niche has already given me over and above that. Now I reach you through radio presentation. That was not even in my plan. Somewhere along the line, I can't believe I'm enjoying it this much. I'm enjoying just talk. It's incredible. It's grown from that entertaining people and events to just coming through and being a part of you in this form and format, in this platform. And that's what finding your niche talks to, and that's what it is all about. So maybe I also have another short story that I want to share. This one will give us the importance again, and actually read it out, because I was actually browsing and I found it. It's a very funny story, but you find that again there's a moral to it. So this one talks about a camel. A mother camel and a baby camel. They're lying around, obviously, and there's a discussion between the so the mother camel, as I saying, so it's a conversation between these camels, and as I say, it's funny as I say, but we'll get to the moral of it. So the mother camel or the baby camel asked, "Mama, may I ask you a question?" So the mama camel says, "Sure. Why, son, is there something bothering you?" So the baby camel says, "Yeah. Why do camels have humps? Yeah, like at the back." And the mother says, "Well, son, we are desert animals. We need the humps to store a lot of water, and we're actually known to survive without water, but that's basically why we have these humps at the back." Okay, so the baby camel looks at the mom and then, says, "Okay, then why are our legs long and our feet kind of rounded? Like, how did that come about? It's different from all other animals." And then the mother camel again said, but son, yeah, obviously now, they're meant for walking in the desert. Again, with these legs, we can move around the desert better than any other animal. So, yeah, that's basically why we have these kind of legs." And yeah, so the baby camel says, "Okay, so mom, lastly, why are our eyelashes long?" Sometimes it bothers my sight, actually. The mother's response there with pride actually goes, "So son, those long, thick eyelashes are your protective cover. You see, they help to protect your eyes in the desert, and because the desert, there's obviously the wind, etc. Okay, so then there's a little pause from the baby camel having been answered with those questions, and then he goes, "Okay, mom, I see. So the hump is to store the water. And we have, when we're in the desert, the legs are for walking through the desert. And these eyelashes protect my eyes from the desert wind, etc. Then what in God's name are we doing in the zoo? So, and I actually laughed at as I read this on the internet, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful story to maybe look at, and look at the type of utilities here. In this case, maybe your camels have for a specific environment, and then having to be though located somewhere completely different and having not needing. And I'm going back to the importance and the moral of that story, by the way, is you all skills, knowledge, abilities, and experiences are all of that. It's only useful if you are actually at the right place. So, in essence, we need to be, hence I said at the very beginning of this talk, we need to be fighting to find our niche, finding exactly what we want to associate or what we actually excel in. What's our interest first and foremost? I remember, as I say, when I look at my inspiration, I look at the very next person. I remember just before getting married, all the service providers that I had been talking to, actually was curious, how did all of their businesses start? I remember my tailor made suit. That guy by the name Tulani Nzama, he was an educator for the best part of his life. Actually was a teacher for a good 5 years, he said. And then after 5 years, he decided, no, I'd like to look into the department of being a tailor suit maker. His business has flourished. And I asked him, how were you not scared of the risk, considering you were going to be off a certain salary? And people are not saying get off your salaries now. But how did you then decide, okay, I'll take, the kind of risks that come with not having that permanent job, not having that permanent salary, etc. And his response actually came in, and he said, in life, Yanga, a life without risks is actually no life at all. That has stood with me for a very long time. So if you don't do anything, expect nothing, because that's the nature of how life, it expects you to give something and get something in return. So I just want to leave that discussion with you now, the importance of finding your niche. And if you actually weren't capable, and if you actually were not even designed to, some of the opportunities that we actually look at coming our way, they would not even be coming our way, And that's the importance of you and finding your niche and you understanding that you belong, Because here's another way of looking at it. The type of opportunities that come to you because you obviously are capable. A lot of us are not looking at ourselves and believing that we are. I would not be talking to you today if I had for 1 second thought the opportunity that came my way, in a sense of coming through on Saturdays and discussing issues that are of relevance to you, is something that I'm capable of doing. But I've got some sort of responses from people who've come in and said, Yanga, there's some value from what you're saying, thank you. And that is actually some of the most breathtaking things I've actually had, to be honest. Some people have come in and said, Yanga, thank you for that session because it's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably didn't even look at it that way, but it's done that. So I just want to mention to everyone, we are needing to look at ourselves, do a lot of study of ourselves, do a lot of study of what we have in our hands. The opportunities that are outside are actually in our hands. And it's a case of us finding what's pushing and what's going to push us in the best direction. What are we going to excel in? Even if you wake us up in the morning and ask us to do that, we're going to do it even without having anything, say, any pressure, because it's something we love doing. That's what a lot of professions do. A lot of professionals that I've been talking to, a lot of them are doing stuff that they love doing. They're not even being asked to, because it's in them. So it's important. Let's find our niche. Let's find our best versions of us, and let's use it. Let's push it, and let's sell it. Let's promote it, and let's get it out there, because that's probably our best chance at getting the best life that we love and we wish for ourselves. So that will probably it from my end for this weekend. Thank you again for tuning in. As I say always, take care. We love you. We appreciate you. And make sure that you empower yourself and you continue to grow. You continue to develop and become the best version of you. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day going forward.